Back in 1980, punk, disco, and new wave were the biggest things around, but someone else was making some hits, and his name was Billy Joel, and that's what I'm going to be talking about today. It's still rock and roll to me. This is a 45, which I'm going to be showing you and talking about the history and what's on the B-side and all that stuff. So let's get into it, and let's talk about Billy Joel, It's Still Rock and Roll to Me. Okay, so this is the 45, and this is from Mexico, so some of it's going to be in Spanish. Actually, I'm surprised they didn't really translate the title, so it's still in English. But on the B-side, it says, Through the Long Night, and it's in Spanish, A través a la larga noche. And on the A-side, they have, it's in Spanish here, Sigue siendo rock and roll para mí. So there's that. Let me show you the 45. It's on the CBS label, which has the B-side there. So there's Still Rock and Roll to Me. And if you look closely, that's it in Spanish. On the B-side is the Through the Long Night, and the title is in Spanish. Again, the CBS logo and all of that. So let me put this away and talk more about the music. So by the end of the 70s, Billy Joel was a pretty big name. He had some hit albums. He had The Stranger, and he also had 52nd Street, and lots of pretty big hits. He had songs like Just the Way You Are, a softer piano ballad, Moving Out, maybe like a little harder rocking song, not really hard rock, but more of a rocking song, and the song Piano Man, which is a very popular song. That's the song that people sing in bars when you go out, and people still play that. So he was a big name by then. But by 1980, disco's fading, punk rock is kind of like come and gone. Now, new wave was big, so we have all these new bands coming out. We have the Cars, we have Elvis Costello, Talking Heads, so many more. But Billy Joel, he didn't want to do any of that. You know, in the early 80s, a lot of artists, they try to change their style. I recently did a video on Alice Cooper with Flush to Fashion, where he changed new wave, and he made that work. But Billy Joel, he said, no, I'm going to stick to doing what I'm doing, so I'm just going to make a song and make an album, which is just stripped down rock and roll. So Billy was not chasing trends, and he also released the album called Glass Houses, which had more guitars. It was more of a, almost like rebelling against the critics who were telling people that you should go with the trends, follow trends, maybe change to new wave. And Billy's like, no, I want to make a rock and roll song, so it's still rock and roll to me. So the song Still Rock and Roll to Me was written by Billy Joel by himself. It was about his experiences dealing with the music business. So a lot of journalists were always asking him if he's going to change the sound, try to follow trends, or do anything like that. And Billy was like, no, I'm just going to do what I want to do, make a rock and roll record. And that was the idea. He wanted to make a song to keep rock and roll alive, and he's refusing to play the game. So, for example, there's one line, let me read it. It says, don't waste your money on a new pair of speakers. You get more mileage from a cheap pair of sneakers. So he's giving the idea is that it's the 80s, early 80s. People are always like going into this whole like materialistic type of thing in the early 80s. But Billy's saying, let's just keep things simple. We don't need to buy the new speakers. That's like the thing back in 1980. Like, I think the modern equivalent would be going out and buying the new iPhone when a model from like 5-10 years ago probably still works perfectly fine. That would be the modern equivalent of it. So this album, Glass Houses, it's basically rock and roll, drums, guitars. The song is still rock and roll to me, has that bass line. I read one comment saying that it could sound like a Buddy Holly type of song. It was stripped down. It was retro. It was rock and roll because rock and roll didn't need a makeover. Rock and roll was something that's always going to be popular. I want to talk about the album Glass Houses real quick. I don't actually have a physical copy of Glass Houses. I had it when I was younger. And if you didn't know this, I grew up on Long Island. Billy Joel's from Long Island. So if you're from Long Island, like Billy Joel was like the main star. Like everyone likes Billy Joel if you're from Long Island. And what's actually funny is the Glass Houses. If you look at the album cover, it shows him like throwing a rock at a glass houses, from the expression don't throw rocks at glass houses or something like that. That picture was actually taken not too far away from where I grew up, from my hometown. I think that particular picture was taken somewhere near Oyster Bay, Long Island. That might be incorrect, but it was taken somewhere over there. So it was an actual house that was on Long Island over there. So Billy Joel was the biggest thing on Long Island. If you lived in New Jersey, like you loved Bruce Springsteen. If you lived in Long Island, you loved Billy Joel, and that's just how it was. So this album came out in March of 1980. I probably could have done an anniversary review of it. I never really got a chance, which was a couple months ago. So it's celebrated an anniversary a couple months ago. The single was You May Be Right. That's another good rock song. It has that like opening guitar riff. Very memorable song. That's like a really good song. I really like that one. But the second single, It's Still Rock and Roll to Me, released in May of 1980. This one went up to number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100. So very popular song. I'm actually not sure if it was his first number 1 hit. I didn't look it up. So if you know, comment below. Let us all know, because I didn't look it up. The reason the song was popular, because it was popular with the older people and the younger people. Everyone could relate to it. The song was catchy. It was relatable, and it sent out the message that good music is timeless. You don't have to chase trends. You don't have to do what all the other bands are doing, adding all these synthesizers to the music, where all these other bands like Rush, Jethro Tull, they were all doing that, adding these synthesizers and all that. That wasn't necessary. It's all rock and roll, so all you need to do is just play with the guitars and drums, and you can make good music. That's really all you need to do. This also came out during the MTV generation. I believe MTV started, I forget when. I think MTV might have started after this song came out, but there was a music video that did get some airplay on MTV. And it was just a simple performance, him playing with his band in the background, and Billy's wearing this skinny tie, suit and jacket, sunglasses, a very early 80s look for Billy. The song is also a live staple. He's been playing it for years. He probably still plays it, and it's just one of the most popular songs. It's one of those songs that has that simple production. It was like the bridge between a slick production of the 70s and then going into the 80s when everyone was doing the synthesizers, but Billy decided to just keep it just stripped down. So the song received a Grammy nomination for the Best Male Rock Vocal Performance. It didn't win, but the album did win performance for Best Rock Vocal Performance Male. I don't know if that's the same thing, maybe something different, but that's just how I read it when I took my notes down. But I think the idea behind it was that Billy was known for piano ballads, and this is like the first time he's being awarded or recognized for a rock song. Okay, before I end this video, I want to talk about the B-side, Through the Long Night. This is a different type of song, more laid back, it's stripped down, more melancholic, softer. It's, again, like a typical Billy Joel type of song. It's just a piano song. It's about love, faith, endurance. When I listened to it before recording this, I thought it sounded like a Beatles song. That's what it reminded me of, because I hadn't heard that song in a while. But the song, the single, Still Rock and Roll to Me, is one I've listened to all over the years, so I've known it very well. So let me wrap this up. What do you think of Billy Joel? Are you a fan? Are you not a fan? What's your favorite album by Billy Joel? Thanks for watching. This is JC Rock CD and Vinyl channel, where I talk about my music collection. I do videos about my vinyls, my CDs, and I also have a bunch of 45s, which were originally from my mother-in-law who passed away, and I have her collection. And a lot of these are in Spanish, but I will be doing more videos like this if you like that. So thanks for watching. I'll stick something related over here, and I will see you in the next one.